Ah, my dear friends, now I'd like to tell you a story today, and the story takes place in Scotland, and it takes place in Scotland 1,000 years ago. Now, Scotland 1,000 years ago was much like it is now, except there were no cities really, and there were no real paved roads, but there were mountains and valleys and waterfalls, springs, rivers, lochs. A beautiful country, but always, always a hard country. Now, friends, this story is called Macbeth, and that is the name of a man, and oh, there he is. You can see him standing there, 1,000-year-old warrior, wearing his wolf's fur cloak and his swords, his war gear, his broadsword, his gallowglass, his daggers, his battle axe, his armor of boiled leather, so it's really hard, and his steel helmet. Now that man looks fierce, does Macbeth, but he is trustworthy. He is loyal. He is of good faith, and he has integrity. With Macbeth by your side, you will never be in danger. He will protect all. He is loyal to his king. Now, his king is a man named King Duncan, and something very bad is happening to Duncan. You see, Scotland is being attacked from the east by the Vikings, hordes of them, and from the Western Isles, by the Irish, bands of them. And if they manage to invade Scotland and rip his kingdom apart, there will be nothing left. They will take everything. As I said, King Duncan is in trouble, but he has a fierce warrior on his side, Macbeth, and Macbeth's great friend Banquo, and he has sent these two with his army to face the enemy. Well, Macbeth's army stopped at the top of the valley, and they made a shield wall, all their shields locking, as the Irish came up the valley. And as they came up, the mist in the air wasn't mist, it was their breath. And the roar in the air wasn't the crashing of waves against beaches, it was the roar of their army. And as they came, smoke, almost clouds came behind, and birds wheeling inside out. They weren't birds. That was the stones kicked up by those marching men as they came to hack at the Scottish army, and they charged the shield wall with their battle axes and smashed the wall. The wall was driven back, but under Banquo's command, everyone stood firm, and then the fighting really began. But then Macbeth saw the leader of the Irish, a man called MacDonald, in the front, and he jumped over the shield wall and began fighting with MacDonald. Well, all the rest of the troops, seeing these two immense warriors in battle, stopped what they were doing, and they watched. The battle went on for a long time, but in the end, Macbeth got his broadsword and cut MacDonald down his helmet, down his head, down his nose, down his chin, opened up his chest and cut him all the way to his legs, and he fell apart. Well, the Scottish troops cheered, and the Irish troops lost heart, turned, and they fled. But it wasn't over, because behind them were the Vikings. And so Banquo got the shield wall to turn and face the other way. The Vikings came and smashed into the shield wall, but once again, led by Macbeth, Scottish warriors cleaved through the Viking hordes. Not one of them survived. Now, King Duncan, in his camp, all the tents there, the smell of roasting meat and the tension waiting for news, saw the man riding on a horse with news. The man rode in and told them how Macbeth had won. Oh, fantastic, said King Duncan. But we have a traitor said King Duncan. "The traitor's name is the Thane of Cawdor. In Scotland, Thane means lord. The Thane of Cawdor helped the Vikings. Arrest him, and I will take his title off him, and I'm going to give his title to Macbeth. He's already the Thane of Glamis. I'm going to make him the Thane of Cawdor. Get on your horse and go. Find Macbeth and give him the good news." Well, my dear friends, if you were an eagle looking down on Scotland, you would see those two messengers come out of the king's camp and gallop to find Macbeth. But you would also see, right over the other end, Macbeth and Banquo take a short cut to come to Duncan's camp.